it's Jessie here. I'm back with another video. Today I am bringing you my Julep nail polish collection. It's a big collection. I've been putting off filming my Julep collection because, for one, it's huge and it's sort of intimidating, and two, it's constantly growing. I am a Julep Maven, which is a subscription service. I personally pay $20 a month and I receive nail polish in the mail every single month. There are different tiers of subscriptions, so I will link Julep down below if you are interested in checking it out and signing up. I have a ton of polish. I'm going to be going through them really quickly because I don't want this video to be an hour long. So I'm just going to show you the polish and the swatch and tell you Julep's description of the color. If there are any notes as far as consistency or anything like that, I'll throw that in as well. But again, it's going to be really quick. If you want more details about any of these polishes in particular, leave me a comment down below, and what I will do is do a blog post on the specific polish that you're interested in hearing more about. So I'm just going to go ahead and get into it, starting with the whites. I have quite a few whites. First one is Julep's Bridget. And that's what it looks like there in the bottle, as well as the swatch. And Julep describes this one as a bright white cream. Julep describes this one as a stark white satin, and that's what it is. It's just a satin finish, so not quite matte, but not quite shiny either. And that's my personal favorite white. Next up we have Eileen, which they describe as an antique bright white cream. And if I'm looking over to the right here, it's because I've got my little cheat sheet with the descriptions on it. Next up we have Julep's Dana, which is white with an electric blue sheen, and this is blacklight reactive, so this shines under a blacklight. Next I have a metamorphic top coat, which I don't have a description of from Julep's website, but this is a great polish that you can layer over top of other polishes to give it a cool metamorphic effect. It's sort of an opalescent color there. Similar to that is Julep's Ellie. You can see there it's much more pink. And the description of that is an opalescent seashell pink with holographic shimmer. Next I've got Julep's Love, which looks like that, and is described as a full coverage gold, pearl, and fuchsia micro glitter. And this was a special edition for Valentine's Day last year, 2014. Next I've got Madeline, which is a sea salt finish, which is basically a textured polish without glitter. And this is described as a pink blush sea salt finish. Next up is the polish that was special for Valentine's Day this year, 2015. This is Julep's Heartly, and it's described as a holographic heart glitter top coat, and that's exactly what it is. Clear based, perfect for layering over pinks and reds for Valentine's Day. Next up is Julep's Yumi, and you can see it there in the swatch as well as in the bottle, and it is a pink, silver, and holographic glitter. Madison, you can see it's quite neon almost. This is a tropical coral cream. It's definitely more on the pink side. It looks very orange in the bottle, but you can see in the swatch there it's much more pink than orange. Next up is Julep's Caitlin, which they describe as a shocking hibiscus with gold shimmer. Again, it's almost neon. Very, very pretty. Next up is Julep's Maria, which is a shimmering platinum rose. This is one of my all-time favorites. I just love how beautiful that is, and that can be opaque in one coat. Next up, I've got Julep's Monica, which is a multi-dimensional pink glitter, and it's sort of a jelly base. Very, very pretty for layering as well as worn on its own if you like a more sheer finish. Next up, I've got Julep's America, which is a polish with sterling silver stars with shiny red and royal blue glitters. This can be opaque on its own in 2 to 3 coats, so you do not have to layer that one if you don't want to. Next up is Julep's Miriam, which is this gorgeous red, and they classify this as a casino red cream, and it is a great kind of classic tomato red. A little bit darker of a red, this is more of a cherry red in my opinion. This is Myrtle, and they classify this as a flapper red cream. Sorry if you can hear my washing machine singing to me. Next up is Nan, which they classify as a Nantucket red. It's sort of that perfect nautical kind of red. Love that. Moving into the darker reds that I own, this is Fazia, and it is classified as a liquid garnet shimmer, and it's just a really pretty deep red. This next one, I don't have a description from Julep's website. I'll just have to describe it to the best of my ability. It's sort of a wine marsala red, if you will, and this is Julep's Peace. Very nice formula, perfectly opaque in one coat. Moving on to my peaches and oranges. I've got Julep's Lynn here, which is a beautiful peachy color. They classify this as a nude blush pearl, but it's definitely more peach in my opinion. I've got Natalia here, which is a refined copper metallic. This is more of a pink toned copper in my opinion, less orange. Next up I have Kyla, which is again sort of a jelly based glitter polish. This is considered a coral orange glitter. Sasha here is a cantaloupe melon cream. Very nice formula. Again, this is one of the first Juleps I ever owned. Next up, I've got a neon orange, and the formula on this one I'm going to go ahead and tell you is kind of crappy. I would not recommend this one. I don't know if you can see in the bottle here, it's sort of separated. But this is Julep's Mariska, and it is classified as a juicy tangerine shimmer. It's very neon. An even worse formula than that. Apparently Julep's neons just, or neon oranges anyway, just don't tend to work out, because the only two I have definitely did not work out for me. You can see this one's separated as well, and that I've shaken rigorously and it just won't go back together. This is Julep's Kaylin, and Julep describes this one as a neon orange cream. Would not recommend that one. The last of the oranges, I've got Joni here, which was the November birthstone polish for last year. And this they classify as a multi-dimensional full coverage glitter that is citrine, and it's beautiful. Okay, next up I've got Julep's Alma, which is a Dijon mustard yellow cream. This is Nadia, which is a sort of a deeper yellow. I don't have an exact description from Julep, but this is a really pretty one with some shimmer in it. Lila, which they describe as a lemon yellow opalescent shimmer. This is Harlow, and they describe this as a golden dragonfly iridescent chrome. Adriana, they'd say, is a smoky pistachio cream. Very pretty. A gorgeous, deep, kind of evergreen green. It is Emmer here from Julep. This is Waleska, which they describe as a eucalyptus green chrome with gold iridescence. Next up, I've got Kiki, which they say is an oceanic silver shimmer. Moving on to some baby blues, I got a whole bunch of baby blues from Julep. This first one here is Jean, and they describe Jean as a jet set blue cream. Next is Something Blue. Again, I don't have a description from Julep's website, but it's just a baby blue cream polish. Next up, I've got Kai, which is a baby blue sea salt finish polish. Bess is a baby blue cream. Portia. They describe Portia as a sheer tropical blue with opalescent glitter, and it is very sheer, definitely a layering polish there. Next, I've got Fina, which they describe as a sky blue silvery metallic. Very pretty. This is Eliana, and Eliana is a soft denim cream. Next, I've got a gorgeous blue. This is Paula, and it is a Persian blue with gold micro shimmer. Very, very pretty on the nail. Next up is Julep's Ilsa, and they describe Ilsa as an ink blue cream. It's very dark, kind of a midnight blue. Moving into some purples now. Purple's my favorite color, so I have quite a few purples and kind of berries from Julep. So first up I have Julep's Joanna here, which Julep describes as a lilac frost, very simply. Very, very pretty. Next I have Queen Anne, which was their 3rd anniversary polish, and they describe Queen Anne as a lilac confetti micro glitter. Next I've got a Stardust finish, which is Julep's textured polish with glitter in it, and this is Cameron, and they describe it as a silver lilac stardust with matte glitter. Next up I've got London. I don't have a description from Julep's website, but I would describe this as sort of a darker lilac color. Still pretty light and pastel, but just a little bit darker than your average pastel purple. Next up, I've got Kimberly here, which is a black speckled wisteria cream. Very pretty, kind of special speckled finish there. This is Julep's Paulette, and they describe Paulette as a golden lilac tulle shimmer. Very pretty. The shimmer in that is really, really pretty. Subtle. Okay, next up I've got Julep's Irina, which again does not have a description. I couldn't find it on Julep's website. But it is a silk finish polish, so again, not quite matte, not quite cream, and it's just a really pretty kind of berry color. Next up is Julep's Hazel, which again I could not find a description for, but it's sort of a metallic looking, pretty shiny purple. Moving on, I've got Julep's Alex here, which is really pretty, and they describe this as a regal purple micro glitter. Very, very pretty shade there. One of my favorites. Next up, I've got Julep's Bet, which is a electric neon purple cream. Next up, I've got Julep's Sandy, which they describe as a smoky eggplant cream. Very, very pretty cream polish there. Next up, I've got Julep's Lupita, or Lupita, I'm not really sure how you pronounce that, Lupita. And they've described this as a ripe rhubarb cream, which I think is a pretty apt description there. Next, I've got Julep's Neha, which they describe as a sorry magenta shimmer. And I've got Petra, which is a cranberry magenta silver shimmer. Okay, next up I have got Glam Rock, which Julep describes as a midnight purple and gold stardust with matte glitter. Next up is Shailene, which is described as a bewitched purple with gold flecks. I'm sorry, my son went behind a cloud, so I don't know how accurate these swatches are anymore. This next one is Elise, and this is described as an indigo with purple micro shimmer. Definitely walks the line between like a purple and a blue indigo color. Next up, we have Julep's Gale, which they describe as a deep aubergine cream. One of my favorite Juleps of all time, this is Boris and Nicole, and they describe this as an autumn red-brown frost, and it's the perfect color to wear, I had it backwards there, it's a perfect color to wear for fall. Next up is another one of my favorites for fall. This is Julep's Minka, and it is an ox blood red suede polish, which I'm not really sure what the difference between suede and matte is, or maybe this is their matte finish, but there you go. Next up, I've got Julep's Ott, which they describe as a rich camel neutral cream. It's a very nice kind of darker nude. I've got Rooney, which they describe as a walnut bark cream. Another one of my favorites here, this is Julep's Candice, and Candice is a golden chocolate micro glitter. This is Julep's Sienna, which is a sophisticated shimmery gold, and that's a perfect description, Julep. Next up, I've got Julep's Rico, which they describe as a rose gold metallic. probably my all-time favorite Julep right here. This is so simple but so classy looking on the nails. This is Julep's Noel, and it's described as a sandy beach silk. So again, I'm not really sure what the difference between their silk finish and their satin finish is. It's just sort of an almost matte but not quite matte finish. Next up, I've got Julep's Soleil, which is a lustrous rose gold chrome. They do rose gold very well, I think. Next up is Julep's Diamond Theory, and this is a full coverage, multi-dimensional copper glitter. Next up I have Julep's Marzia, which they describe as a pewter chrome. Next up here is Tazine, which they describe as a full coverage Bollywood gold glitter. Here's a really gorgeous polish for St. Patrick's Day coming up. This is Julep Shoshana, and it's a full coverage yellow holographic glitter. It's sort of a yellowy, goldy green color, and it's beautiful. Next up, I've got Julep's Oscar here, which they describe as an ultra chic, multi-dimensional gold glitter. Sorry you guys are seeing so much of the top of my head today. It's just impossible for me to get through this without checking my notes. Way too many polishes to keep track of here. This is Julep's Winter, and it is a gray cloud cream. Next up, I've got Dendry, which is another one of my favorites. This is a dove gray cream. Almost coming to the end here, I've got Amity here, which is really, really pretty. This is a white gold metallic. Next up, I have Cleo, which the swatch really doesn't do this justice, but this is a silver, pink, and lavender multi-dimensional glitter. Very nice. Next up, I've got a polish called Kirby, and again, the swatch does not do this justice. This is a silver jagged glitter top coat, and it's really cool. It's got lots of jagged pieces of glitter in it. Another one of my all-time favorite polishes from Julep. This is Nancy, and this is described as a silvery sage metallic, so it's sort of a greeny silver, which is really interesting and unique. Next up, I've got Julep's Mona here, which is a storm cloud gray cream, much darker, very nice kind of slate gray. Two more and then I'll be out of your hair. I've got Julep's Letty here, which is a black pearl shimmer, very, very black. It looks black on the nail, but you can see some shimmer in the bottle there. And lastly, I've got Julep's Jet, which is just a jet black cream. So that's it. Those are all of my Julep nail polishes. My collection of Julep polishes is growing constantly. Every month I add to it. Like I said, I did not have time to go through and give you guys a whole lot of details about this as far as formula goes. I tried to mention my favorites as I went through, but I really wanted to keep this short and sweet, or well, as short and sweet as possible. I think it's still going to be a pretty long video. So let me know what your favorite Julep nail polish is, because I would love to hear from you. Definitely check out Julep. Like I said, I'll link my referral link down below, but if you don't want to use my referral link, that's completely fine. You can just go to julep.com and check it out. It's a great service, great polish for the most part, and be prepared to watch your polish collection grow when you go through Julep, because I have a ton. I don't know the exact count. I didn't count, but I know it's a lot. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this and found this helpful, and I'll talk to you guys really soon. Bye, everyone.